Hi guys, as you may have seen on the YouTube channel of ArcoLinux, we are installing every single desktop there is with the ArcoNet ISO. And this one just, well, asks for some attention. As you see, there's an article out, Icewm 3.6 released with new features and fixes. So that's one of the desktops that we have, and it's Icewm. That's the way how you investigate, and you see Arch has it already. That's the fun of Arch, right? The speed is quite fast. We're always cutting edge. Sometimes people ask, when is this or that version of GNOME or Plasma coming, right? It's the speed of Arch. We are an addendum, right? We are just a distro based on Arch, and we make our own configurations and our own tool to install ArcoLinux and our own tool to install kernels, etc., etc., right? It's still 90% Arch. So as you see, if you install today Icewm, you have 3.6. So I've read the text that's in here. It's Linux IUAC. I hope you can read it at the top here, that link. And yeah, it's time to just install it then, and let's include it in the video and see how it feels. Everything is already installed. Last system was installed, so let's overwrite everything, reboot into firmware, boot manager. That's the DVD or the CD or the ISO or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to overwrite whatever we have on our system. Two choices, two kernels, so depending on the hardware it will see everything or it will skip things, and that's why it's there. Two kernels to choose from. This is Intel and AMD, this as well. This is for all the NVIDIA new cards, and this is, if you don't know, if it doesn't work, that is the no mode set variable for a kernel. Things to change, sure, press E, right? E and go in there. And with the button end on your keyboard, you go to the end and you type, I'm gonna type Eric at the end, right? And you launch it with an extra parameter. Of course, this will not work. Find out what parameters you can add or change just by adding here from 0 to 1. It is changed, right? Go in there and change whatever you want. F10 or Ctrl X, as you can read at the bottom sentence there, is how you launch then. Now I'm gonna go for escape. That means do not consider my changes, right? And I'm gonna go for this one. Let's install Icewm and see how it feels. This is also new for me. It's like an update. There's so many updates going on every single day on Arch. 90% is Arch, 5% AOR, and 5% is ArcoLinux. Our configurations, our bash, our ZSH, our wallpapers, our icons, right? A lot of things. I wonder how many, but a lot, hundreds of packages. We're gonna choose for advanced because ArcoNet is the ISO to go to. 80% of our people probably are using them because it gives you the most variety, right? You can install all the ArcoLinux Bs if you are aware that we have made the change prior to, I think, March or April, somewhere, April, I think, right? We made the change to ArcoLinux XL, XS, and all the Bs. So basically ArcoNet is the Bs. But it's an online thing. You need to be online. That's the, well, the downside, right? But we have downgraded or downscaled is a better word. Downscaled from 45 ISOs to 3. This is way better to manage. So let's boot up. VirtualBox will always give us this until there will be a new update, and then it recognizes again the size, because we used to do right Control F and right Control F. As you see, not gonna work. If you're don't like it and you say, no, I want to have big screen, I want to see everything, right? On VirtualBox, only an issue on VirtualBox, right? You go for desktop display, that's it. Display, drop down and go for it. It's just a few seconds, and then apply, and then keep it, and then close it, and then move it a little bit here. And this is the offline, which means you get what you see, what you see is what you get, right? XFCE4 and all the apps, we're gonna go for ArcoNet Advanced. Meaning, that's the button. Here is gparted. Remember, I said there is already something installed. Maybe not a bad idea to first start with run gparted and clean it up, right? The more videos you see like this, the more you realize, yeah, maybe any Linux installation, any application like Calamares or others have issues with what you've done in the past. So gparted is the tool to get rid of everything, right? Partitions are gone. It's all gone, it's all gray, and maybe one last thing you can do is create partition. This is for the old machines, MS-DOS, and GPT is UEFI, apply, done. We have an SSD, hard disk, NVMe that's clean, right? There's no track record, so there's nothing formatted, there is no partition, he gets it. Then there's this choice. You Google ArchWiki grub, ArchWiki system deboot, on ArchWiki refined and see what it's all about. Don't have time, use grub. Then we have this Swiss tool. Many Linux distributions use Calamares. It's not from us. It's github.com/calamares/calamares, and then you can follow, well, whatever you want to read. There's a website, there are commits, the GitHub, and you figure it out. So the last thing with it was this. I'm gonna skip immediately ahead to Icewm because of the release of the article there. New release, logout, config all desktops, Icewm, local XFCE, power menu, rovi, root, volume icon. So choices, there are a lot of pieces in our arsenal of apps and configs, and you decide what you take over time, right? If you know what the content, what it delivers, and you say, I don't want this, this and this and that, you just deselect and off you go. For now, I would say keep as is and see what this what our choice is, and off you go, selecting maybe third-party packages. There are a few in here, games as well. Just start using Linux and gradually you'll learn all these applications. Then you choose, so where you live, I've chosen that already. That's my keyboard, everything is black, gparted. And then we choose maybe no swap and maybe GFS, and again, right, Google, make up your own mind, what will you use? If you want to know what I will use Ext4 and one of those guys, right? So GFS for now, experiment with it, use it, try it, like it, keep it, simple. And then we go for password, and that's my choices. Next, install, and then we wait. See you a bit later. Let's pause the video. At some point, and probably at this point, right, 60%, there is this command that says go update the system that you just installed, because in the beginning it is what you see is what you get, right? It's gonna install every bit and byte from a compressed image, which is rsync, way at the beginning here. And then it's gonna remove XFCE4 and XFCE4 goodies. Okay, cool. And then it's gonna update. So there is indeed a new ArcoLinux keyring that's going to be introduced, so that's been taken care of. But the update, yeah, depends more. Not only the keys have to be in order, there shouldn't be any conflicts, because at this point in time, it's not Calamares that's running things. It's Pacman. And Pacman has its rules. And if something conflicts with something else, you get a nice pop-up and then Calamares says, can't continue because of Pacman, right? Not because of Calamares. There can be servers that are down, packages that are corrupt. There are so many things that can go wrong, even in your local network, right? The stable internet, no firewalls. And there are so many things if you go for the online option, right? The offline option always works. The online option has parameters, has conditions, and if all the conditions are met, no problemo, right? So the more recent an ISO is, the less likely that there will be conflicts in these thousands of packages. Let's have a look. Sudo pacman -s. Let's install fast fetch. I have to remember to use this one rather than neofetch, right? But it would work as well. So fast fetch is coming in. Voila, FF. So we have here 1253 packages that are used to create this ISO. That means 1253 possibilities that pacman says there's a conflict with this package and an update, etc., etc., right? And keys, but we covered keys, but even still, right? Some things can go wrong. Anyway, we can restart Icewm. I'm as curious as you guys. This is new, right? New Plasma 5, new Plasma 6, new Plasma 7, new i3. I always wonder what's gonna change with updates. All right, and my question, of course, is do I need to do something? First of all, screen resolution might be a good idea. Outputs, virtual 1 resolution. In my case, that one, do it, and then maybe save it for later. Save as. I call it Eric. Et voilà. This can go now. We can install software, SoftwareM, we can install other desktops and so many things in ArcoLinux tool. We can update the Arch mirrors, which normally, right, normally are already the good guys, in the sense that there are a few guys that are worldwide one of the best kernels, servers, and here is mirrors.kernel, right? And these guys are the best, often, right? But voila, you can test them out, you can change them. Update Arch mirrors. These are the Arch mirrors. We've also the ArcoLinux mirrors, and it's an Arco mirror list. So remember the series on Netflix and other things, right? Narco drugs, Narco mirror list. There you go. And if you're living in the United States, it's all good. If you're living in Europe, Sweden, well, maybe you should move that up, etc., etc., right? You just do that manually. There's no script. Think. Oh yeah, the brain, right? I'm living in France. Maybe Belnet is good. Maybe test it out. How fast is the speed? I have no control over these servers, but that's where our packages are in the world. Okay. So those are the two servers. Well, the two files that control the servers where our packages are coming from. And now we have Icewm. Let's have a look. We have applications, we have accessories, right? We have all this. This is how it looks. Well, ours looks. You can change any way you want, of course. We just give you a template, and with the templates, voila, you can change things, right? Where do I find all the information? Where do I find all the information? Log out. Okay, cancel. Control X, that's better. And Super Shift X, no. Super D, no. Super Shift D, that's there. Control T, sure. Super Q, yes. Super Shift Enter, yes. Super Q, yes, right? So it's not a tiling window manager as you saw, but it is something, well, it's different, right? For sure. And I don't know where Thunar is. Let's do Alacrity then. You can move this about. And if you go and launch Super Shift D, I'm always faster with my keyboards. Firefox is in here as well, of course. Applications, and you have to look, and then the time spent in looking where is it, voila, right, is longer than just typing a keyboard command. The file, the website that triggered me was this one, linuxeac.com, right? linuxeac, and then Icewm 3.6, I think it was. voila. Cancel, yes, that one. That's the one that triggered me installing Icewm, and you read it. This is number 5, number 6. They've changed some things about the window, and that's the fun, right? You have now something new. Check it out, see if it's something that you can interest you. And I'm gonna play with the settings, with the elements in here. Double click, drag, that doesn't work. Making it bigger, that works. All right. Double click is this, double click is that. This can be done as well. So I have to read the article again and say, okay, what things are changed, because creating window handles, etc. There is some things changed here. Improves localization with updated Khazar and Georgian translations. Okay, and here's the changelog. That's something that probably will interest me. And have a look, right? What can I do? What can I change? What's changed? Ignore duplicate. So fixes are there as well. Restore the moving of windows by dragging with the right button down. The right button down. Should I check it out as well? Etc. Icewm, ladies and boys. Alright, have fun. Oh, last thing. Where do you learn things? Arch, Wiki, Icewm. Okay, check. Done. I've read it. Then ArcoLinux D Icewm. Right? Oops, there are a few videos. And this is where the scripts are. That's where scripts are. And this is the website, ArcoLinux D. The D stands for all the desktops. Let's make this bigger. Voila. These are the articles. And at some point in time, I've made playlists rather than articles. So have a look what is already shared here. And from that, keep learning, right? Often there's a workflow kind of thing, because you need to know where are the files. And you go have a look. Often it's in the .config, and see if there's anything in there that's called Icewm. Move it to here. This is what you need. How do you read it with an editor? Which editor? My choice is Sublime Text. I take the folder, drop it in here, and go read it. Right? Startup looks like a good place to start, right? Startup. So follow the reasoning, follow the way that the desktops boots up. How is the desktop booting up? And then actually, and you know this, SEDM is the one that boots it up. So users share X sessions, because this is an X11, not a Wayland one. And here are some things, right? So open it up and see what this is. There are several ones, as you can see. And you open up a Sublime Text and voila, execute. All right, so we're going to execute a certain session. And when he can't find this one, he'll try this one. So basically that's the real path, and off it goes. And then, yeah, because of convention, because of programming, it's going to look in certain places. .config, Icewm, startup, Ctrl-T, man Icewm. Let's see if they have something. They have something. So you go read this as well, right? You go read everything. That's how I start learning about any desktop. I read a lot and I test a lot, trial and error. And these are all the manuals. So thank God, right, that there are so many manuals to have a look. What is this all about? BG is background, desktop background image manager for Icewm. Can assign a color or image to the X11 desktop background. And you go on reading. Have fun learning about another desktop, Icewm. All right, cheers.